Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Chapter 1s, the series in which I read 3 different first chapters of different manga and decide of those, like, do I like them, do I dislike them, am I gonna read them by myself, or am I gonna read them on the channel? I only do the series when I have, like, some slots on the channel I'd like to fill, like, some series I'd like to be able to do, and since I just finished a bunch, I feel like there's space to do some. This doesn't mean, like, necessarily that I'll add these series, or even if I like them, it doesn't mean I'll do them on the channel. In fact, I'm going to be a little more selective than usual. If you want to just skip this preamble, check my description. I have timestamps for each of these. For some of the older episodes of Chapter 1s, I might not have the timestamps, but by the time this video comes out, I should have fixed all of them. Anyways, I just wanted to say that I've been doing a lot of edgy series on the channel, and it's caused me to rethink my brand almost. That feels a bit too formal. Like, I'm not thinking of it like that. It's more that I'm not an edgy person. I do like edgy series. I find them very easy to react to because, like, big explosive things are happening. With DeadTube, for instance, I really like being able to talk about, like, what the series has to, like, do with filmmaking, what it has to say about YouTube. Like, I think that's really cool. And then on top of that, if I don't have anything really interesting to say, I can still react to all the horrible stuff happening. But I feel like that's giving this channel a weird vibe. It makes it feel like this channel is all about edgy stuff and Alita. So I want to, like, not focus on that stuff as much. So if you submitted an edgy series, I'm not going to, like, be biased against it. I might read it by myself. I mean, what am I saying? I will be biased against it. It's more that it has a bias against being on the channel, but it doesn't mean it has a bias against, being in my heart. I might still read it. I might still talk about it. So we'll see. We'll see. On a similar note, I'm any series that's a fighting series is probably going to be a tough sell. Just because, like, if it's sort of a wacky fighting series, that might be more my speed. But if it's like a legit fighting series, probably not. Like, I kind of a lot of people had submitted Kengan Asura to me back when it was still coming out at the rate of like a chapter a day, and I don't want to do Kengan Asura. I know it's probably really good. I'm still going to check it out myself, but I don't think I'd do good reactions to it. All right, starting off with King's Viking. So I don't know anything about the series. Like, it was recommended, quote unquote, by Mr. Donut the Donuts. More so that he just kind of told me about the series. He said I might like it, and that, like, it's kind of tech based, but I honestly don't know what it's about. Which I'm excited to like. I'm excited that I haven't been spoiled on it. I know that it's not literally about Vikings, obviously. Clearly modern day. Oof. Okay, start of the series already fired, and the whole thing with the radishes makes it feel like because he does it every single day, it makes it feel like he's very easily like occupied. Like maybe he doesn't have a lot of ambition. Okay. Oh my gosh. This like just based on the girls and the fact that it's a party and that apparently this guy like rented out the sky tree. This feels so much like I just started watching Silicon Valley. And it starts off also with like this big party by a tech startup. I think that's the vibe I'm getting, especially the fact that this guy's wearing like a blazer, but underneath it, that doesn't look like a. I mean, it might be a business shirt, but it's got like a very flashy pattern on it. This feels like a tech startup thing. Jeez, about 5 billion. God. Okay, I'm already into this. Okay, the angel business. Like, is he an angel investor then? To be fair, I have no idea how angel investors make money. Like, the way I understood it was always just, they're rich people who are willing to take chances and they're willing to lose money if they have to, but they don't really expect to get much out of their investments, which seems like the exact opposite of this. This feels like it's an actual like startup that has a business plan that is making cash or that is like still in the fundraising area. Okay, 10 million active users a month and 10,000 users a day. That's the kind of deal we're talking about. Okay, so he's already following up on something else. This is such an interesting like duality of it too. Like he showed up here, he immediately didn't want to talk shop, but then like he was waiting on this text, and now he immediately wants to leave the party. Also, I'm very glad that this is an actual iPhone and not like a parody iPhone. Like for a tech series, it would be extra weird if it was like all parody technology. God damn, what is this design? Like these are so irregular looking. Like it's so weird that it makes me feel like this has to be a real location, or it has to be based on a real location. So I guess the big question is, like, are these actual errors or are they being hacked? Because in most series, I would assume, oh, like if this is going on, it's clearly evidence of a hacker. But if this is going to be more of a like tech slash company building series, it could just be like actual problems that they're going to resolve. Never mind. We already went into hackers. Okay. This is such an insane contrast. But I guess it makes sense. Like, he was talking about, leaving work at work and, vice versa. So it makes sense that when he leaves the Sky Tree, he immediately goes into, like, super indie developer mode. Okay, so it's that type of a hacker thing. Like, it's an intentional challenge. They're not just picking up on his trail. No, there's. I mean, I can understand that. If someone's directly challenging you, then yeah, sure, you could just pass off the information to someone else, but you I feel like most people would have that desire of like, I'm being called out. I want to go after this person. His squad seems really cool though. Like I really hope it isn't just the person we saw at the start, I presume main character and then him as like a duo. I kind of want these guys to come along for the ride too. Like especially because it seems like this is his MO. Like he's the kind of guy who pulls together smarter people to work for him. Hey, he was wearing a t-shirt inside the jackets. I couldn't quite tell though because like it did look fancy. It looked like it had a collar, and I think it almost looked as if it was like a button-up thing. But I guess it's t-shirts. Ah, but why? Also, why in like an abandoned video store? Also, I don't understand his challenge then. If it was literally just, "Hey, I'm here, come visit me," that feels extremely risky. Okay, so he's just kind of squatting here. That's cool. Like it's an interesting aesthetic, at least. It's nice to see one of these though. Like, I can't say I've worked for them, but I've been in a couple of organizations, like just for a little bit, just doing minor jobs. And what are these called again? You know, Log, not Logitech. The books, the laptops that are super duper cheap. You can swap out all the internals super easily. They have the little clits there on the keyboard. What are those called? But I'm already feeling nostalgia just from seeing it. Okay, is Linux installed on 2005 IBM? Oh, what are they called again? ThinkPads? Are they ThinkPads? That sounds about right. God, so he is just smashing through them. Yeah, I mean, that does make sense, though. There's no reason why it has to be inherently negative. Like, I mean, that's why we have the differentiation between crackers and hackers. There's no reason why he can't use this power for, something helpful. So the big question then is like, why was he messing with the banks? Like, did he have a purpose? Was he trying to get money, or was it entirely for fun then? God, he's so young too. Like, because of the way he looks, like he has that thing of, he's a manga character who could be anywhere from like 14 to like 30. Especially with how tired his eyes look. Like that made me think he might be older, but God, if he's an 18, that's like goddamn, he's so skilled. He's so skilled. Right, right. So he is an angel investor. People have money support people who look like they'll be able to make money. Okay, he's got a lot of ambition. Like, this is a hard sales pitch of, I believe that the business we're in is that of world domination. Yeah, I mean, that is true. IT really is, like, not the Wild West, it's something much greater. It's something where anyone can be disruptive. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I don't want Kreda to waste his life doing fuck all here. Though, I mean, I guess from this response, he doesn't think he's doing fuck all here. Okay, that's a very childlike answer to like why he did what he did. There was no greater scheme to it. It was just he was mad about the banner. But yeah, like clearly you have a high amount of skill. Why would you reject this? Why would you not do this? Like clearly it feels like a perfect fit. Oh, okay, I can understand that. That is a big mood. It's the big mood of I have a passion, but I don't want to monetize this passion because what happens if it fails? But also, like this specifically, what happens if I turn this into a job and come to hate it? Like then you have nothing. I mean, the answer feels extremely obvious here, but I mean, Kareda is a relatively well written, like shitty high school teen. So I don't know what his answer will be. It's completely possible he might just straight up say no and we'll have an entire arc of him not saying yes. At this point in time, they were nothing more than a nameless young man and a workaholic angel. This is the voyage log of the two men who would later hold the king's crown in their hunt for treasure islands. Okay, so angel investors do get like something out of it. Just because of the name, I've always assumed it was like they just kind of throw money at projects without expecting anything else. But okay, so they do get equity. All right, and then venture capital is like that's the next step up. That's where you go when you need some legit money to start like kicking off your startup. And yeah, these are pretty obvious. But thank you, Helvetica Scans. Good first chapter. Honestly, I see no reason not to read this on the channel. I did look up King's Viking quickly to see if it's a Shueisha series. Pretty sure it's not, so I am going to go forward with it. Like, it feels like a series I'd really enjoy. I see no reason not to do it. Plus, like, assuming that Arc 0, Chapter 0, like, assuming this is all just a prologue, it might not be, but if that's the case, that also means that when I start the series proper, I'm starting with, like, the actual series, which is honestly the best possible thing. Like, I really like chapter ones that are a standalone thing because, like, how do I put that? There's something just cozy about it being like, hey, here's my sales pitch. This is what the series is going to be, but I'm not going to put anything too extremely important in it. So, it gets to be its own self-contained thing. Kratos seems like an interesting character, though I mean, I can't get a grasp on him very well, but clearly that's the point. The point is that he's super weird. And then Sakai is super neat. Like, again, he's also hard to pin down, but that's because he is a venture capitalist, essentially. Like, I mean, he's an angel investor. That kind of God, I can't get over this building. The way the building is set up is so weird with like where the windows are. But yeah, it seems interesting enough. There's not a whole lot I really want to talk about apart from just I like the premise, I like the art. The art's fine. The sketchy style is pretty cool. The backgrounds are all pretty competent, and I appreciate that the hacking feels like legit hacking. I mean, not only is it legit hacking, but the tech is actual tech. We saw like the the background for a version of Ubuntu, not a version I've seen before. Like I couldn't recognize it based on the background alone, but it said Ubuntu. This is an actual iPhone. I'm hoping that they like. It doesn't have to be the most realistic series, but I hope that they do something that is not super out there in terms of hacker stuff. That's kind of what I wanted out of Neolation, and Neolation was more out there because it was more of a shonen series, but I'm excited, especially because King's Viking doesn't seem like it's going to be a series that's about fighting, whereas Neolation was about, like, hacking and fighting combined. So overall, good way to start off. It's definitely going to be a reaction series. I know I said before, I don't want to have the chapter ones be a thing where I'm like, okay, I have to decide right now if this is going to be a reaction series or not, but it's going to be a reaction series. I don't see why it wouldn't be. At the very least, I'll do one more reaction, and if it doesn't hook me, then I guess I'll stop. But there's a reason not to. Anyways, that was King's Viking, and next is Darwin's Game, Chapter 1. So also, know nothing about this. I don't remember who recommended it either. So thank you, whoever that was. I assume it was from one of my other Death Game series. Because this feels like, just from the name of it, from the fact that it's Darwin's Game, I assume it's going to be social Darwinism. Like, it feels like it's going to be an edgy fighting series, which, as I said at the start, might not pick that up, but I can't say I dislike this kind of series, so we'll see. Okay, that's a neat way of putting it. 99% of the species born so far have already become extinct. I do wish the group had translated this. Like, again, it doesn't even need to be like properly retypeset or anything. Just translate it. This seems like, I mean, I guess it's not that important. It's basically just an ad, so I guess that's fine. It just feels weird that clearly there's text here that I can't understand. I mean, this is most likely, a new serialization has begun, starting off with a 45-page new chapter. Okay, I'm glad. Like, again, this is editorial text. It's not that necessary, but I am glad it's translated, just for, the visual of it. By using 5 points, call a companion. Okay. I mean, this aesthetic reminds me so much of Eden of the East, if you've ever seen that series, and I thought that was a really cool series. What was that, though? Like, it doesn't look like it was a bullet. It looks like it was, like, a slicing motion from somewhere. I mean, if this amount of money is on the line, I doubt it's just a game, quote-unquote. Also, yeah, they are, like, invisible slashes. And it doesn't even look like there's, like, projectile slashes. It's like someone invisible was stabbing him. So 10 points. What was 5 points? 5 points was 500,000 yen. So 10 points. That's 1,000,000 yen. If that's all the game is, like, if it is literally just the more people you kill, the more money you make, that's a pretty good incentive. It's not bad. Okay, so I mean, I assume this is our main character. It definitely seems like he needs some money, or not even that he needs some money. It's just he wants some money. Reply that normal fags should just die. Oh, wait a minute. That was his friend. Okay, okay, I see what was going on. It was also call a companion, which I assumed, like, because he was saying, call a companion, he was on the run. I assumed it was something where, like, it would instantly summon a companion or something, as opposed to just inviting them to the game. That feels very useless. Or not useless, but it feels useless to do in the moment, as opposed to doing it, like, just out of nowhere, like, doing it once you have, like, a plan, and you're like, okay, well, I need to build a party. But okay, that makes so much more sense now. Also, what does he mean by that? By, it says here that it's free, but I'm sure I'll end up spending some money later on. But well, if I can get money from it, I'll play it? What do you mean? What part of this implied that you can make money? Okay. I mean, the fact that they don't know where he is implies that they haven't found the body yet. So either, like, they're going to find the body and that's going to be a big, like, oh no, Darwin's game is a death game, or they won't find it at all. Like, there's some sort of cleaner behind the scenes getting rid of the bodies, which some series like this do have. So it doesn't look like it literally leaped out. Like, we got the shot immediately where clearly it didn't bite him. There's no snake coming out of the phone. Okay. So, outright, way more supernatural than I expected. Wait, what? So he started, and immediately there's a countdown. Incomprehensible art shaped like a person. What? Okay. So, okay, so there's gotta, like, it's not a cleaner per se, but when people die in Darwin's game, they decompose and then turn into pixel art? Because it's not even like it's a straight, like, deletion down. Like, there's less and less as you go down. It's so weird. Like, I don't know how a human body would make this indentation. Like, it's not even that the heavier parts go down further. Maybe. But no, because, like, there's a layer here and then there's a smaller layer here. Like, that's not how a human leg is shaped. A human leg is shaped so that, like, if your leg were to sink into the ground, you'd have, like, you wouldn't have more space taken out at the very top. You'd have more space taken out in the middle. And yeah, there's sharp edges too. Like, I can imagine what it was like. I can imagine, like, his body turned into, like, these giant real pixels or, like, voxels and then disappeared. But I guess that has to be what it was. I don't fully understand why it would make this specific pattern, but I think that's got to be what it was. Also, how did the blood get there? Because we saw the slashes. The slashes weren't very. I mean, he was slashed in the neck, so maybe we just didn't get to see the blood spraying everywhere. Okay. Okay. Already jumping into another death. Hey, they didn't even note the amount of money though. That's weird. Also, what do you mean I'll just take this instead? Like, why wouldn't you do both? Why wouldn't you just take the points and also take the gun? I don't like this girl already. It sucks because I do like characters that have, a speech quirk where they go yeah a lot, as I feel like that's pretty obvious considering my gimmick on the channel. But I don't like her. She feels too tryhard. Okay, that's cool. What's this? Like, this is clearly a barcode that can be scanned. Well, what's that? Like, is it supposed to be a QR? I mean, that's not what a QR code looks like, though. It seems like his nerves are getting worse. Like, usually I'd assume. Hmm? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay. So it seems like his power is just the power to create things. Also, he has a power, which is not what I expected from the series either. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be evolutionary to some extent. Like, the more you use your ability, the more it grows. But then the girl, like, clearly the girl seems to, like, have a lot of experience with killing people, but she doesn't seem to have a power. She just uses a chain. And, like, not even, like, the chain's the important thing, because she immediately got a gun instead and said, like, hey, I'll take this. Hmm. Oh my gosh. At the very start, the guy that killed his friend was wearing a, like, a jersey, right? Yeah. I remembered seeing like the number and like a name up here, pandemic. Also, their local baseball team is called the Pandemics, and their mascot has a 666 on them. Like, god damn, that's extremely on the nose. That is deeply on the nose. I mean, that's not wrong. It just feels like that's bad branding. All right. So, starting off. So far, didn't really hook me. I don't know what the series is about. That's the main thing. Like, Darwin's game, like, this opening text really said as much about it as the title, which is Darwin's Game. Oh, okay, I see the, like, the tattoos that he has on his neck now up here. But, like, it didn't give me a feel for what the point of this was. Like, because the name Darwin is involved, it makes me feel like it's a kill or be killed thing. There might be some level of evolution or, survival of the fittest. But I didn't really get that from this. It just felt like a generic, death game series. That said, it's not bad. And I have been considering this thing of, like, if I don't feel faithful in a series, like, maybe I'll just read the first volume by myself or, I'll read a bit of it, and then if I like it, I'll just start up reactions later on the channel. I don't know. I'm not feeling it though. That's the main thing. Something like DeadTube, for instance, had a very powerful hook that immediately got me. It immediately made me think, all right, so we're doing sort of a YouTube thing. That's automatically exciting. And the main character is this person who is not a killer, but he can't keep himself from filming. Like, that was a cool concept to me. Whereas nothing about Kaname is interesting to me. Apart from just, I guess he wants some money. Like, I guess he's supposed to be the kind of character where he starts off very generic and then changes over the course of the series, but there's nothing here that I really like. Like, this is kind of cool, sort of. It's more confusing than awesome, though. And then I don't like this girl at all. She feels extremely generic. She feels like a walking meme. I don't like her. So, overall, Darwin's Game, probably not going to do it. Might read a bit off channel. That leaves one more series. All right, we have School Live, or Damage told me it was pronounced School Live. I mean, I'm already getting questionable vibes from this. I mean, it's it feels like it's going to be a post-apocalyptic series because we've got the super cute girls, sure. But we've got like the shovel here, a classic post-apocalyptic thing. We've got the destroyed school. Like, it could be, that they're just having a lot of fun at school, but that clearly does not feel like the case. It feels like it's one of those series where they're trying to juxtapose the cute with the, the gritty or the dark. Okay, so first of all, I think that's really cool that, like, we do get a full spread of this. Like, maybe they used this for like the what am I trying to say? Like the dust cover, but if so, like, I'm still glad we have like a completely stitched together version. So she's in the school living club, and the wreckage here is also like they took great care to, like, on the cover. This doesn't look that bad, but it still looks pretty bad. Whereas here, it looks much worse, and they have flowers growing everywhere too, which is interesting. Is that a bullet casing? Yeah, getting some real post-apocalyptic vibes from this. Hmm. Okay, chapter 1, beginning. I will say though, like, I'm 99% convinced that this is going to be a cute series with a dark twist. But even in that case, like, a cute series with a dark twist has to have a legitimately cute art style. Like, Madoka, for instance, would not have been good at all if it had been like a very generic art style. It works so well because the characters are such adorable moe blobs. And like, it doesn't even try to contrast the adorable moe blobs with like gore or anything. It's just horror. So I'm into this. I'm into it. So it looks like they're eating rations here, which, again, I do like this juxtaposition of, I assume it's, yeah, like, they could just be random snacks, but I'm assuming it's they're eating rations, but they've set up the shot to look like a generic cute girls eating cute things shots. Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then it seems like the school's still functioning. So the question is then, is this a prologue leading into the horrible thing that happens, or has it already happened? Because, like, we had this shot, like, we transitioned into this, but then, like, I assume she wasn't napping at her desk and then also all her friends were around eating at the same time. So I think this is supposed to be like, this page is happening, this panel is happening, and then we transition here into just a general shots. There's all sorts of weird equipment in the science lab. There's beautiful instruments and scary portraits in the music room. The whole school is your stage in the announcement room. Okay, so even though everyone's still around, they've already turned the student council into the school living club. So like maybe the school is like just this bastion of safety. And so like that explains all the plants and stuff. Like they have to grow their own food. They have to be mostly self-sufficient within this one building. Because especially this thing of like pointing out the various parts of the building. That makes sense if we're going to recontextualize it later on. I mean, there's something inherently just appealing about the whole cute girls doing cute things aesthetic. I mean, I guess this actually is an interesting thing to say. I was about to say no one cares about my opinions about it, but they might. Like, I like Heion. I like I mean, does Flying Witch count? Flying Witch basically is a different genre than cute girls doing cute things. Like, Flying Witch is a Yashike. But I do like watch a fair few cute girls doing cute things series. I think it's a good genre. So if this is legitimately going to be one, or if it's a version, like either way, it's definitely in my ballpark. It's definitely something I'm interested in. Okay, the school living club allows us to become more familiar with various areas of the school that you can't find in class by staying in school itself. Okay, so they don't go home, implying that they can go home. So, but like they choose not to. Okay. I was just thinking that I really like all of you. I forgot we were staying over and almost went home, but it's not like I forgot about you guys or anything. Hmm. I mean, the fact that we brought up her memory multiple times is worrisome. The thing that's really dismantling my idea is the fact that there's so many people here. And it doesn't seem like most of them are, like, helping out. That's the weird thing. Like, if we saw more people in the background doing, like, vaguely militaristic things, or, like, preparing things, making weapons maybe, like, that would make it feel more like it's a group of people all at school, like, preparing for something. I mean, it could be both now that I think about it. Like, maybe the school, what are they called again? The school living club, like maybe this is legitimately a weird, quirky club, and then we get the apocalypse, and then after that, they keep on doing what they were doing. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind, I get it. Oh boy. Okay, so, I mean, I'll read a bit further, but I want to read the other pages now. Okay, yes, yes, yes. So, she is absolutely just hallucinating all of that. Okay, so what has she done in this chapter? Okay, so I just reread most of the pages, and none of them really stand out as like having any big hints, apart from this one. Like specifically the fact that she's like, "Hey, look at that! They're waving at me," and clearly she doesn't see anything there because she's not insane. Oh, wait a minute! I was about to say like, "Oh, and we have corpses here," but nope, those are zombies, right? Oh, that also completely recontextualizes this shot back. Like the fact that someone was waving, like that isn't even necessarily a pure hallucination. That could just be a zombie with a catcher's mitts. Did we see one back here? No, we didn't. Still, good first chapter. I'm not usually super into post-apocalyptic series, but the vibe of this first chapter was really good, and I kind of really like. It seems that we're like what I'm hoping the series is I'm hoping we do get to see more of this. Like, I hope we don't delve right into it's a zombie apocalypse and this was a misdirect. If it is about Yuki, like, seeing the world as a cute girls doing cute things series and everyone else acting, properly, I think that'd be really cool. Like, that'd be an interesting contrast. So, yeah, definitely interested in it. I will 100% like record more of this. Whether it comes out or not will depend on whether I enjoy the series going forward, but we'll see. So overall, productive, productive, productive. We've got a yes to King's Viking, a maybe we'll read a bit off camera, see how it goes to Darwin's game, and a most likely yes to School Alive. Like I guess it makes sense to not like have hard things of this is 100% going to happen, this is 100% not going to happen. But like if I were to put it in order, it would be King's Viking definitely going to be on the channel in my mind right now. School Live most likely going to be on the channel. And then Darwin's game probably not. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, thank you all so much for these 3 chapter 1s. This was a fun time. I hope to do more. If you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments. I'm looking for series that are not owned by Shueisha in Japan. Like, please do a quick check for that. That does suck though, because most of the great series that a lot of people really love are owned by Shueisha or a subsidiary. So yeah. If you have any fun series, any like, I'm really trying to stay away from edgy series or fighting series. But if there's anything else that you've really been enjoying that you want to like submit, please do so. I'll definitely give it a cursory like look just to see like, is this a thing I want to do? And at the very least, there's no reason why I can't put it in chapter ones. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.